Coming up on this episode of Freedom from Fire, we'll see what it takes to keep our firefighters and emergency staff ready and mobile. We'll look at some factors that every college student should consider in order to live safely. And we'll talk to one of Philadelphia Fire Department's valued partners. There's that, plus a lot more. So stay tuned to Freedom from Fire. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Freedom from Fire. I'm your host, Fire Commissioner Derrick Sawyer. Here at Freedom from Fire, we aim to improve your quality of life by giving you fire and life safety information. We also introduce you to our local safety partners. On today's episode, we're going to find out about a vital part of the emergency services that often remains invisible to the public, the Office of Fleet Management. We'll be here to discuss what they do to keep our emergency vehicles up and running. Joining us from Fleet Management will be the Occupational Safety Administrator, Deasia Tyler, and Assistant Fleet Manager, Thomas Hall. Later in the show, we'll also talk to a group that is working to keep our residents safe by donating and installing alarms, the Insurance Society of Philadelphia. We'll have Executive Director Beth Graber. She'll join us. But before we get to those guests, I want to talk about a subject that affects many young people in our city. We have a large number of college students who call Philadelphia home for at least a portion of the year. While these students are living at one of our many city colleges, we want them to be safe as they would if they were at home. There are many things that students need to remember when living on their own, and fire safety should be one of them. Here are some good questions for college students to ask before moving into a dormitory or signing in an apartment lease. Are there working smoke alarms in each bedroom, outside of sleeping areas, and on each level of the building? Are there at least 2 ways out of the building and each room? Do the upper levels of the building have at least 2 sets of stairs inside and/or a fire escape? Are there exit signs in the hallways to show the way out? Are there enough electrical outlets for all your appliances, computers, printers, electronics without using an extension cord? Has the building's heating system been inspected recently in the last year? Does the building have a sprinkler system? Does the building have a fire alarm system? Does the sprinkler system or alarm system send a signal to the local fire department, or is it to security on campus? Is the address clearly posted so emergency response units can find your building or apartment quickly? One aspect that people often neglect to think about is the importance of fire sprinklers. The combination of working smoke alarms and fire sprinklers reduce the likelihood of dying in a fire by more than 82%. Here are some fire safety sprinkler tips. Don't hang things or cover the sprinklers. This could affect their ability to work properly. When a smoke alarm sounds or sprinkler activates, immediately evacuate the building by going outside to a meeting place. Don't assume it's a false alarm. Make sure sprinkler heads are visible and accessible. Don't put heat sources near sprinkler heads, such as a toaster oven that emits high levels of heat. Fire sprinkler systems offer the greatest level of fire safety. They control the fire immediately in the room of origin, help limit the spread of fire, and often extinguishes the fire before the fire department arrives. Cooking safety is another area students should keep in mind while living on their own. 85% of university housing fires are cooking fires. There are more than 3,000 university cooking fires each year. Here are some fire safety tips. Of course, these are helpful to everyone, but good to remember for students. First, cook only where it's permitted. Never leave your cooking unattended. Frying poses the greatest risk, and never put water on a grease fire. Keep an eye on what you fry. If a fire starts in the microwave, keep the door closed and unplug the unit. If you use electrical appliances, do not overload the circuits. Stand by your pan. If you leave the kitchen, turn the burner off. For an oven fire, turn off the heat and keep the door closed. Propane and charcoal barbecue grills must only be used on the outside. There's also the lethal mixture of alcohol and fire to consider. In most cases, where fire fatalities have occurred on college campuses, alcohol was a factor. Approximately 25% of all campus fire fatalities follow a party. Here are a few alcohol and fire safety tips. After a party or get-together where alcohol is consumed, check for smoking materials, especially under cushions, chairs, and sofas. They can catch fire very easily and burn fast. Don't consume alcohol and cook. You could fall asleep and cause a devastating fire. There is a strong link between alcohol and fire deaths. Intoxication impairs judgment and hampers evacuation efforts. You may sleep through a smoke alarm or not react quickly enough to escape. Again, we're happy to have so many students living in our colleges and universities, but we want everyone to be safe, so remember that fire is everyone's fight, even while you're away at school. Speaking to college students, we have our own team of college reporters here at Freedom from Fire. They often go out onto LaSalle's campus to test students' knowledge about fire safety. In our next segment, our team roams the campus to see what students know about firefighting equipment and the vehicles we use in the Philadelphia Fire Department. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Brian, and we're here with Freedom from Fire, and who are we talking to today?
Camilla Cameron.
Camilla, how much do you know about vehicles that are used to put out fires?
Not a lot.
Not a lot? Well, are you ready to learn?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, first question, what is a heli-tac?
Some sort of helicopter that's used to put out a fire.
Is it a helicopter?
It's like a helicopter. It's a helicopter delivered fire resources. So what's an air tanker?
That's another good question.
Is an air tanker an airplane that's used to put out a fire?
I also don't know.
Well, an air tanker is also something that is used in the sky to put out fires, but that is what you use to drop the water. Do you know what ARFF stands for?
Probably something with fire in it, but no.
Do you want to take a guess?
No.
Do you know what ARFF stands for?
No.
It's aircraft rescue and firefighting. So yeah, fire. You were right on one of the words. Yeah. The Philadelphia Fire Department does not have any of those aerial things, but they do have fire boats to fight shorelines and boat fires. Yeah. And there are 2 marine units. And where are they used?
Where are they used?
Do you know where they are used?
No.
It's 2 rivers.
The Schuylkill River.
Yes. And can you think of another river?
Delaware River.
The Schuylkill and the Delaware River. Good job.
Thank you.
Hint, there are 2 bodies of water.
Okay. Schuylkill.
Schuylkill is one of them.
Right. And Delaware?
Delaware and Schuylkill are correct.
Hello, I'm Callie Montana here for Freedom for Fire, and I am with
William Washington.
And Jennifer Foley.
All right, so you guys ready for a little quiz? Sure. How many firehouses does the Philadelphia area have? Take a guess.
I'm guessing 5.
You sure?
I have no idea. More than 5?
More than 5?
More than 5.
It's a little vague. So like 1,000?
Less than 1,000?
Less than 1,000. It's like 500?
Less than 500.
Less than 500.
4?
I'm gonna say it like 100.
63.
Wow, look at that. Right on target.
A question about fire engines. What color are fire engines usually?
Red?
Do they have to be red?
No.
They can be yellow.
That's very true. Good job.
Scientists say
Scientist?
Scientists say that fire trucks that are lime yellow are actually better because it's like easier to notice. Do you agree with that?
I don't think so.
Neither do I. What are you supposed to do if you are driving and you see or hear sirens of an emergency vehicle?
Get out the way.
Pull over to the side.
You move out of the way.
Very good.
So, what if you're stopped at a red light, there's no place for you to go, and there's a rescue vehicle in the back of you? Can you go through the red light?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you don't want to risk that ticket, so.
You could slowly move into the intersection, but you need to get to the right so the ambulance and engine can pass.
Okay.
So, do you think you're pretty confident now with some information?
Yeah, I got some information.
All right.
now.
See, that wasn't so bad.
Thanks for that information. We can find out more about emergency response vehicles we use in our city and how the units are kept running by talking to my next guest. Now joining us to discuss the Office of Fleet Management is Occupational Safety Administrator Deasia Tyler and Assistant Fleet Manager Thomas Hall. Hello.
Hi, how you doing
How
today?
are you?
How you doing?
Welcome to Freedom for Fire.
Thank you.
So, tell us a little bit about the Office of Fleet Management and what they do.
Well, the Office of Fleet Management services all the different departments throughout the city. To
So not just the fire department.
not just the fire department. We service all departments throughout the city. There's a total of like 43 of them that we service.
Wow.
And in that we service, one of the main ones is fire, police, water, aviation, and so on.
So most people think, well, at least most people in the fire department think that you just service the fire department. And I'm
Mhm.
quite sure most people in the police department think you just service the police department.
Yes.
And most people in the streets department think you just service the streets department.
hmm
So how do you coordinate all those efforts?
Well, we try to do it throughout the management. We coordinate it with all the other high-ranking officers and stuff like that through the departments and getting vehicles in and getting the maintenance on time and try to keep a schedule going.
Great. So who is the Commissioner of Fleet?
Commissioner of Fleet is Chris Cochee.
Chris Cochee. So how is it working for Chris?
Works good for
No
Chris.
pressure.
No pressure.
So how many vehicles do you think that you service per day?
We're a little over 6,300 vehicles
Wow. 6,300 throughout the city?
throughout the city.
Is that
That's
broken up evenly?
that's different departments have more vehicles than others, and that's
So
how
are,
we
are
service.
those all city-owned vehicles?
Yes, they're all city-owned vehicles and different types of equipment too.
So do you service any non-city-owned vehicles?
No, we don't service them, but we do fuel them.
Gotcha. So tell us about the fuel.
The fueling, we have a total of like 64 sites, over 100 in-ground storage tanks. And we fuel every city-owned vehicle as well as some quasi-agencies like the Board of Education, Housing Authority, and stuff like that.
Wow. So what a lot of people don't know is that I used to be a fire truck mechanic when I was in the Air Force. So tell me, your mechanics, what type of training do they receive?
When we receive new vehicles and stuff, a lot of times in the spec of the vehicles, it includes training, like special apparatus that we purchase and heavy duty equipment that we purchase usually comes with some kind of training. As far as our other training that we do is like we partner up with Ford and GM and we get some training from them as well. And we also we also have a good program that we try to put together for the ASCs to try to get our mechanics to step up to get their master certification.
And also they have CDL license, also state inspections and admissions.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do they have to maintain those certifications? So once they become a mechanic and they get their master's?
Yes, yeah, every few years you have to renew it.
And what
And,
does that entail?
Well, what it does is for the ASC, we do offer a bonus when they do maintain them.
So that must be a good motivator.
Yes.
So what type of bonus do they get?
Well, you get like $1,000 if you're master certified. And if you're in truck and car, you get like $1,500.
Gotcha. So from a occupational safety perspective, what are some of your challenges?
Well, really, I haven't run into any challenges right now because I
Well,
will
I need
say
your job then. That's an easy job.
it's not easy.
Just no challenge. You can handle it.
Well, you know, the challenge may come in safety training, trying to
Right.
coordinate training, and the vehicles still need to be fixed.
Right, right.
So that's where some of the challenges come in. But I can say that we have the safety, in my opinion, has to be across the board. And we definitely have help from the commissioner. He is behind the safety unit 100%. And so is the deputies, so are the deputies as well as the mechanics. So when you talk about challenges, I would say the main thing is trying to coordinate, making sure that, you know, the shop is still functioning while
Right.
we have employees in our trainings.
So how do you maintain a safe environment in the shop? Because there's a lot of moving pieces and parts. You have tools, you have vehicles on jacks, you have lifts. So there are probably a lot of ways for employees to become hurt or injured. So what are some of the ways you maintain a safe
And they also have a lot of
work?
chemicals.
That's right, forgot about the chemicals.
Right. Well, one of the good things is that their injuries are really low at the Office of Fleet Management. And I can say that because I came from the Streets Department working in their safety unit, and when I came to the Office of Fleet Management, I was like, wow, the numbers are really low. And they do that through training.
Right.
There are a number of trainings that we have. We have Right to Know training every year, where I can say that we have about 98% participation. That's the mechanics, the supervisors, administration, everyone is going to Right to Know training. We also have a respirator program where it's voluntary. We pay for that. We send them to the hospital to get a physical, and then we have an industrial hygienist who comes in and who does the baseline testing the fit testing for the respirators.
Great.
We also,
So before we close, I know that we have a high school program to train firefighters. I'm hearing that you also have a apprentice program for high school students. What's that like?
It's pretty good. What we do is they come in from high school, tech school, and if they maintain their grades, they could work with us. During the summer, they work full-time, and during the winter, they could work like after school part-time. And it's good because we get to grow them from the ground up. Actually, they actually realize if they want to do this for a living, they're coming in,
Right.
and they understand how it works. And we've been getting good response from it.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us today. I appreciate the information. I learned a lot about safety and culture at the shop. So we need to take a quick break right now, but when we return, I'll be joined by the Philadelphia Fire Department's Partners in Safety. Don't miss it. We'll return shortly with more Freedom from Fire.
If you keep tanning, indoors or out, the effects of harmful rays will show up on your skin. Wrinkles, age spots, and an increased risk of skin cancer, including melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer, and the second most common cancer in women 15 to 29. Stop tanning. Time may not be on your side. Learn how to protect your skin at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Today, a new creature walks among us, terrorizing innocent citizens. Until this threat can be contained, we must all be on the lookout for the dreaded digital deadwalkers.
Dude!
They're not looking out for you.
Engage!
A public service safety message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep everyone well connected with strong, healthy bones.
My name is Caitlin. I'm 6 years old. I like to go to the beach with my cousins. When I was a baby, I was very sick. And then I got a liver transplant from my older daughter. He saved my life.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Welcome back to Freedom from Fire. Welcome back to Freedom from Fire. I'm your host, Fire Commissioner Derrick Sawyer. The Philadelphia Fire Department's mission is to serve the public by providing comprehensive all-hazard prevention and community risk reduction. I would like to highlight one of our partners achieving this goal, the Insurance Society of Philadelphia. Now joining us is Beth Graber, Executive Director of the Insurance Society of Philadelphia. Welcome to Freedom from Fire.
Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for coming. So tell us about the Insurance Society of Philadelphia. What is that all about?
Sure. The Insurance Society of Philadelphia is a nonprofit member organization that's been around since 1901. We provide scholarships, professional development, networking opportunities for our members.
Nice. So, and that's a long time.
It's a very long time.
So, I know this week is your week of giving, and you've partnered with the Philadelphia Fire Department for the past 3 years. So, tell our audience what the week of giving is and how you came about joining the fire department in your week of giving.
Sure. It happened for us back in 2011. Mayor Nutter approached one of our members and challenged him with a way to work with the city to help in their fire prevention efforts. Our member came back to our board and presented the challenge to them, and the board looked at it from a risk mitigation standpoint. And from that, the Text to Pledge campaign was born.
Wow, that's great. Well, I have to say thank you to Mayor Nutter then for keeping
yes.
this going. So tell us about the Text to Pledge campaign. I know normally when you solicit donations, people usually send out a letter or whatever. So
right.
Tell us how the text to campaign is different and how that came about.
Sure. We do the text campaign at our Independence Gala, and through the use of technology, we've got 700 people at the gala. A little program goes on about what the text is for, and then as the members start donating by texting, their name, how much they're donating goes up on a big screen so everyone in the room can see it. And what that does, it gets a little bit of a, a little competitive spirit going, but then that increases the pledges as it goes along. So it's fun, our members are engaged, and I think they leave feeling, really good about what they've done.
Great. So do you think the Text to Pledge campaign is easier than your regular solicitation, or do you think it's better? Which one do you think you have better success with?
Sure. I think there's great satisfaction in the Text to Pledge campaign. It starts during our gala with the people pledging, but then it kind of comes full circle at our week of giving when our members get to go out to the different homes. They get to meet the beneficiaries, help install the smoke detectors. So I think there's just such a good feeling about what you're doing for the community that that we're living in and working in, that it's worked really, really well.
Yeah, it really has. I noticed this year that you had more volunteers. So how were you able to increase the number of volunteers? So in this day and age, a lot of times people aren't willing to volunteer their time because they have busy schedules, but you seem to be able to have been able to get more people to come out and volunteer. How did you achieve that?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with word of mouth. Because our members are feeling so good about it and so good about the experience that they're having really out on the streets, partnering with the Philadelphia Fire Department, that word is just spreading, and it's like, wow, I would really like to be involved with that. I came away this year, going into one of the houses with you, meeting one of the women there, and I was so touched by how you explained to her, use your broom handle, that's how you're going to test it, and you could tell she was so happy having us in her home that you just go away feeling good, and this type of story spread, and more people just want to join in the effort.
Yeah, that's great. So we feel good because you help us raise money to purchase smoke alarms so that we can go in those homes. So how much money has this campaign raised so far?
Yeah, to date we've raised a little over $150,000.
Nice.
Which we're real proud of, and we've got a new campaign kicking off next month. We've got a goal of raising another, hopefully 40 to 50, if not more.
Right, let's go for another 100.
We'll try. But really what we need is the city, the legal community, as well as the insurance industry to come out and support us at the gala November 12th.
Yes, so if they hear this, maybe they'll show up, right?
That's the idea.
So what's your plan to increase more volunteers for next year. So you did a pretty good job this year of having volunteers go out. How do you solicit more for next year?
Sure. As our membership grows, I think the people who are going to want to be involved in this great effort will grow along with it.
So you shared that information?
Absolutely. We were out tweeting.
Great.
Something new for us.
So one thing people don't know is that last year we were on, I believe, the 3000 block of Marshall Street and installed smoke alarms. And then April of this year there was a fire and 8 people actually got out because of the smoke alarms that your organization helped us purchase. So how does that make you feel when you know for certain that you've impacted a life? Not only a life, but 8 lives. So it's not like sometimes when you save a life, you don't know it because you prevented the fire. But this is a fire that happened and you know for a fact that you saved 8 lives. How does that help you out?
It does. You know, that story was actually shared by Mayor Nutter at Philly Eye Day, which a lot of our members attend. It's an event that we sponsor. And you sort of heard the ripple go out across the room, kind of like, wow, we were a part of that. And we just want to keep that effort going.
Great. Well, I want to thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to next year's Day of Giving.
Thank you. So do we.
As I do at every show, I'm going to ask my guests to take the fire safety pledge with me. So would you be willing to do that?
Absolutely.
All right, let's raise our right hand. You ready?
Ready.
I love my family, and I am responsible for their safety. Therefore, I pledge the following. I pledge to have at least one working smoke alarm on each level of my home. I pledge to test my alarms as recommended and replace my alarms with new lithium battery-powered alarms when needed. I pledge that every family member will sleep with their bedroom door closed. I pledge to develop and practice a home escape plan. I pledge that if I cannot afford smoke alarms, I will call the non-emergency number 311 or visit www.phila.gov/311. All of this I do solemnly pledge. Thank you for joining us again, Beth. I urge all of you at home to take the Fire Safety Pledge along with your family. October is Fire Prevention Month, so it's a great time to look at how you and your family have prepared in case of a fire emergency. If you haven't already done so, go to freedomfromfire.com to review our fire safety checklist and prepare a home escape plan. Before we leave, I want to mention one of our recent events. On October the 10th, we held the annual Hero Thrill Show. The Hero Thrill Show made its debut in 1954. The mission of the Hero Thrill Show is to raise money to pay for college tuition of children of Philadelphia police officers and or firefighters killed in the line of duty. Thank you to all of you who made it out to the show. It's a great time, and I hope you can attend next year's show as well. Upcoming events. Coming up Tuesday, October the 27th, the Glasgow-Smith-Kline Breakfast kicks off the distribution of the Glasgow-Smith-Kline posters and fire life safety literature. The posters are distributed to local fire companies who select highly visible locations to display them. These efforts are made to reduce the number of fire fatalities in the city of Philadelphia. Remember, if you would like to find out more about LaSalle TV, you can check out our social media sites. And if you're interested in learning about the Philadelphia Fire Department, visit our Facebook, Twitter, and web pages. I would like to once again thank Deasia Tyler, Thomas Hall, and Beth Graber for joining us today. I also would like to thank you for tuning in and watching. So until next time, remember, fire is everyone's fight. Stay safe and remain free from fire.